Have you ever really stopped to think about what makes an animal domesticated? It seems so simple. We think of dogs, cats, cows, and we're done. But what if I told you that a single Wikipedia category page completely flips that idea on its head? It reveals this hidden logic that honestly tells us way more about ourselves than it does about the animals. So let's get into it. We're going to use just this one page to unravel a surprisingly deep story. All right, so before we jump into the wild stuff, let's get our bearings. We need to start with the most basic question of all, just to make sure we're all on the same page.
Go on, think of one right now. I'm willing to bet you thought of a dog, right? Or maybe a cat, or a farm animal like a pig or a chicken. Totally normal. Those are the classics, the poster children for domestication. Just keep those in your head, because things are about to get a whole lot weirder.
Okay, so here's the official breakdown, straight from the source, concept. Animal domestication isn't just taming one animal. It's a whole process. It's about a population of animals kept by humans that eventually, over time, actually changes. They develop traits their wild ancestors never had. It's a relationship where we humans are actively guiding the evolution of another species. Seems pretty clear-cut, doesn't it? Well, let's see how that simple definition holds up. And this is where our little tour really takes a turn. We're about to look at the master list from our source page. All the animals that fall under this one category. You might want to buckle up for this one. So, here it is. Just a wall of names. I mean, some of them you'll probably recognize, like anjing is dog, sapi is cow. Easy enough. But what in the world is a kama? Or a nengat sutra? The whole thing just feels totally random, right? How can a silkworm and a water buffalo possibly belong on the same list? It's just chaos. And get this, in total, there are 34 separate entries here. Not 5 or 10, 34. 34 different kinds of animals, all considered domesticated. This isn't just a list anymore. It's a real puzzle. So how on earth are we supposed to make sense of this jumbled mess? Well, the amazing part is the source page itself gives us the answer. The key to solving the puzzle has been hiding in plain sight the entire time. This is the big aha moment. It turns out that that giant messy list isn't really a list at all. It's actually a collection of different pages that are organized beautifully. You just have to know how to look at it. The structure is actually genius in its simplicity. You've got the main category, domesticated animals, right? Well, that's broken down into 4 main subcategories, and all 34 of those animals we just saw are filed away neatly into one of those 4 groups. Suddenly, the structure becomes the hero that brings order to all that chaos. So, what are these 4 magical groups that sort everything out? Let's dive into them one by one, and you'll see how they create this perfect map of our relationship with the animal kingdom. First up, we've got the biggest group, hewan ternak, which is just livestock. This is the category we're all familiar with. These are the animals we've domesticated for practical reason, for food, for their wool or hides, or to help us with work. Your cows, your sheep, your chickens. It's all about utility. This group is defined by its purpose. Next, there's a category with only one type of animal in it, anjing, or dogs. So why do they get their very own VIP section? Well, think about it. Our relationship with dogs is just different. It's incredibly complex. It's not just one job. It's about companionship, herding, security, hunting, assistance, you name it. Their amazing versatility earns them a class all their own. The last 2 categories are just as specific and, frankly, just as cool. You have kuda, or horses, which covers all the horse-like animals used for work, getting around, and sports. And then, and I love this one, you get ternaklaba, which means beekeeping. This is brilliant because it shows another unique relationship, the domestication of an insect, not for its meat, but for the sweet stuff it makes, and its crucial role in pollination. So, you'd think those 4 categories would explain everything, right? Well, almost. Because hidden in that original mess of names are a few real curveballs, ones that make you question what you thought you knew all over again. Hey, remember the silkworm? Here it is. Nengat sutra. This tiny insect has been domesticated for more than 5,000 years, not for food, not as a pet, but for one thing and one thing only, that single, delicate thread it spins to make its cocoon. It's a mind-blowing example of domestication for a super-specialized luxury good. And then you've got this character, the betta fish, or Siamese fighting fish. It wasn't originally domesticated to be looked at. No, people first bred them for aggression, for fish fighting contests. It was only much later that we started breeding them for those incredible colors and flowing fins. So we're talking about domestication for sport, and then for art, a totally different motivation. And last but not least, the comma. What on earth is a comma? Well, it's a hybrid of a camel and a llama, created by scientists in a lab. It does not exist in the wild. This animal represents the absolute extreme of domestication, where we're not just tweaking a species, we're literally inventing new ones to fit what we want. Okay, let's just step back for a second. We started with what looked like total nonsense, and we found this hidden logic. But what's the real takeaway here? What's the bigger story?
See, when you really look at it, the way this list is organized isn't just a filing system for animals, it's actually a map of human history. It's a map of our own needs and desires. It tells a story about what we value, whether it's the practical utility of a cow, the deep companionship of a dog, or just the pure, wild curiosity that makes us create something like a comma.
And that's really the heart of it. Every single one of those 34 entries, from the tiny silkworm to the powerful water buffalo, represents a completely unique chapter in the long, complicated story of how we've interacted with the natural world. It's a story of our needs, our creativity, and our undeniable impact on this planet.
And all of that leaves us with one final, kind of mind-bending thought. We've spent all this time looking at a system that we created to organize animals based on what they do for us. But what if you flipped the script? What would an animal's list of domesticated humans look like? What categories would a cat put us in? Or a cow? It's a weird thought, I know. But it's a powerful reminder that domestication has always been a two-way street. Something to chew on.